Hi everyone, it's me, Salmoneus. From Xena, from Hercules and Xena. I was in more followings of Hercules than I was in Xena, but I still see myself as a friend of Hercules and Xena. I was always known for being a salesman, making deals, and always getting myself in binds that either Heracles or Xena had to get me out of. Now, Ice was in more followings of Hercules from the first following to at least until the fifth following. And then after that, well, they said I was put in lockup for not yielding my income toll. Whatever that was. Gaver, Oldham, or near. I don't know. When it came to being in Xena, I was only in 3 followings. 2 sagas in the first following, and 1 in the Twofold following. And that's it. Then I was no longer on the show anymore. Now, a lot of folks might say the grounds to that is his Joxer, who was offshooted took my stead on the Xena shows all the way from at least the first following until showing up in the 6th following on and off. And that's not true because Joxer showed up in 1 following of Heracles, so I guess it is what it is. So, yeah. Most of the time I spent being a friend to Trukina and Ernest P. Worrell and Villainax, and Keglar. But not only that, I spent time being friends with Angel and Spike and Divatox and Mephistopheles, and Ilaria, when all of them were running what was known at the time as the Trukina Underseeking, Shielding, and Law business, which ran for at least from starting somewhere towards the Twofold following of the Trukina show, and it was kind of offshooted a little bit towards the end of the third following. But I'm in the new sagas of it. So, anyway, a lot of folks wonder, what do I do in the TWF? Am I a play-by-play caller? I am. I work with Gorilla Monsoon and the Jackal on the TWF offshoot of NXT. That's what I do. And since I can't stand on my own, since someone at Toy Biz made it where I can't stand, I have to have a stand to stand into. So don't be so worried about that, because I gotta have a stand to sit in. So it is what it is. That's what I do. And except for showing up in 1 small slight of the Heracles Xena fight for, Hill Olympus show film, that was about it for any offs after that. Arab folks wonder, do I show up again in any of the Heracles or Xena books? And the answer is yes, I do. I show up in the written books that were being written over the years. I show up in the books that have been written on the interweb with them from time to time. I've shown up in the drawing books that are still being made by to this day. So, even though I may have not showed up on the Farseer show anymore, I still show up there. And I still see myself as a good friend to Heracles and Elois, and to Xena and Gabrielle, and to Ernest and Joxer, and everyone else. So, it is what it is. So, if anyone, want to back up Xena, want to back up Heracles on their YouTube fairway, and want to back up the TWF, then by all means do so. I'm not telling you what you don't need to do. I'm just saying. I got some deals too. Some really good deals. Don West wasn't the only... Speaking of that, I was more like Jimmy Hart of the Heracles Xena world. Yeah, they'd say, oh, well, you made deals like Don West did. Yeah, I did. But I was more like Jimmy Hart. That's probably the grounds to why I was more with Heracles than I was with Xena. Because someone probably said, oh, Jimmy Hart's always with Hulk Hogan, so put Salmoneus with Heracles. More than put him with Xena. Because Gabrielle was more like Paul Bear. So yeah, Paul Bear's with the Undertaker, so put Gabrielle with Xena. When you think of it, Elois was more like Brutus Beefcake, so that's probably why he was with Hercules. But if you go back to young Hercules, you'll know they had their friendship going back longer than that. Anyway, that's all the time I got here. If you like this film, then follow me over here at Xena Pappas. Or watch the last film we made over here when Xena fought, when Xena had a talk with Zeus and let him know he was no longer worshipped by anyone anymore. I, Salmoneus, and I'll see you all later. Bye.